We are continuing our conversation with Rosemary Aquilina, who is not only a highly respected judge and motivational speaker, but also an author. Rosemary, your latest book is called Speak Up, and Speak Up, Lessons in Trusting Your Instincts. And it's all about something that you've relied on from a young age. How did your childhood shape your ability to trust your instincts and your voice?
So the very short version is my dad studied medical school in Germany. I lived with my grandparents in Detroit, and I thought, because I lived with them since I was about a year until I was about 5 years old, that my grandparents were my parents. Oh. So when my dad comes and removes my mother, brother, and I'm thinking I'm kidnapped.
Wow.
And so since that young age, I have felt kidnapped and have been a rebel, you know, a troublemaker. And so when someone said yes, I said no. When someone said no, I said, I'll show you. And you know, it really shaped my world. So I learned ultimately that I have two sets of parents, my grandparents and my parents. So I flipped the script into something positive, but that feeling of being kidnapped never left me. And I had to really learn to rely on myself, my gut, my intuition.
Wow.
Well, you served 20 years in the military as a JAG officer. What's the most valuable lesson you did learn about knowing when to trust your gut?
Listening.
Yeah.
And sometimes breaking protocol. You're supposed to follow command, and I had a whole lot of situations with people who went AWOL for good reason, and I bypassed what we're supposed to do, and I went right to the general. Here's the problem. Here's what I need to do. It can't wait, sir. And they learned to trust me and said, do what you need to do, Aquilina. And that was pretty amazing. I got into the military they didn't want this woman. I became the first female JAG in the history of the Michigan Army National Guard. Wow. They didn't want me. My application sat there, and I thought, well, you can fight the military or you can do something creative. So I volunteered, put my tightest jeans on, showed up. I was a lot younger and prettier then, showed up, volunteered, and I made sure that I had coffee where the general did. And when he saw me and I introduced myself, by the time I got up to the JAG office, he was yelling at the colonel who's pointing to the phone going, you know, this is about you. And the general screaming, who is that woman in these jeans? And he said, the next JAG, I hope. And the application's sitting next to your office, and the general said, get that woman in a uniform. I was sworn in the next weekend.
Wow.
Yep. And when he swore me in, he crossed out 6 years, put 8, and I said, sir, please put 20. And then he swore me in, and he said, the only thing that could have been better is if you were black, because we never, I was the first female, I was the first minority. Okay, and I served 20 honorably and became the most requested JAG by trusting my gut and sometimes going against protocol for the good of morale and humanity.
Wow. Wow.
And finding out how good you look in jeans.
Well, thank you.
No, that's the other part of it. Okay, you know how I know your name? You were thrust in the spotlight during the sentencing of American gymnastics coach Larry Nassar in 2018, and you gave more than 150 survivors of sexual abuse space to speak up, to share their truth, which was so important. It really gripped the nation. Did you realize at the time the kind of cultural impact you were making?
No, I have always let people speak. If crime touches you, you get to speak in my courtroom. Crime doesn't have a border, so why does the courtroom? I don't own the courtroom, you do. You have a right to speak. And so I let everybody speak. And I got a lot of flack for it, but ultimately I didn't do the heavy lifting. Each one of those gymnasts did. Mm-hmm. When they spoke, they inspired the next person and the next person. And at the end, I felt like I had 156 babies handed to me because I literally watched them grow and I felt like they were reborn. And it was a gift to me.
Wow. Incredible.
You mentioned some criticism that you've received, and at that time I found this interesting to find out that some critics were saying that your victim-focused approach risks turning to the courtroom into a therapy chamber, and others felt that you were using such strong language at a sentencing that you went too far. So all those criticisms lobbed at you. How do you handle that?
Well, they can get me off the bench. I'll go to the legislature and fight for the right to do what I've done. The strong language was because his behavior was absolutely horrible. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. He didn't understand what he did. And those people who criticized me, there were judges who said, you don't deserve to be on the bench. Oh, we can't do less than you. I said, retire and pour my coffee. You know.
Wow.
I do not sit above the people. I sit with the people, and I'm supposed to be your voice, and I will not sit above you, and nor will I degrade you by limiting your voice.
Wow. Rosemary. Okay, you recently called for an independent inquiry into sport in Canada
Yes.
amid widespread allegations of abuse across athletics. So what drives you to move beyond the courtroom and into reforming sports culture?
Because we need to make sure, the Olympics, it's not just the Olympics. We all start out as possibilities to be in the Olympics, children. And when you value money and medals over the safety of children, then you are a persecutor of children. And children have a right to be safe. It is a human right. And I think Canada, with an independent inquiry and changing some laws, could be a leader in the world. And that's what I'm asking for. We haven't been able to do it in America. Canada, let's do it.
Wow. Wow. You are a remarkable woman. I understand when you're not in the courtroom, when you're not writing books, when you're not being a motivational speaker. You're in the kitchen because
I
you
am.
love to cook.
Wow. I do.
You love to go all out for the holidays. Is themed entertaining sort of your signature?
Yes, I like to make spooky food and colored food. I colorize it. There's my my
What's
turkey.
the nose? What's the beef?
Oh, I
soup?
love
It was red pepper.
Oh, I love
and
it.
my kids and grandkids named it, and then they wouldn't eat it, and I had to cut into it. That's
Oh my God, that's awesome.
a Rice Krispie turkey for Thanksgiving, and my cheese ball snowman.
Oh
and,
my gosh.
You know, having a 3D colorful meal makes it fun.
Well, you have
Kids
been
must
so
love
much
it.
fun and enlightening. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Hey, Speak Up Lessons in Trusting Your Instincts is on shelves now. And studio audience, guess what? You're going home with your very own copy. Thank you. Thank you for being with us.
If you love it, please write me a review. It really helps. Thank you so much.
Let's do that, huh?
It's a great book, yeah.